Hello everyone, this is David, Fairly Secret Music. Today I'm going to do a video on a few death metal bands that I've been getting into. This band Baest, it's B-A-E-S-T, so it's like Beast. I know they're from Denmark, but I'm not 100% sure how I found out about this band. They have a song uh, entitled Ecclesia, Ecclesia, and that was the very first song that I heard from them. Um, but when I heard that song, it wasn't on any of their albums. It has since been put on an EP, but we'll get to that later. So, Dance Macabre is their first album. I luckily found all of these used one day, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to pick them up, even though the song that I really like is not on there. Normally, I don't get into just kind of like straight ahead death metal. These guys are kind of close to that, but they kind of have a little bit of that Opeth kind of sound to them, especially on that single that I originally heard. Um, and the singer sounds very similar to when Akerfeld was early on singing death metal stuff. So this is their first album. Their second album is called, oh God, what is this thing called? Veneum. I'm not even sure. I'll just show you the cover then. This is what happens when you get guys from Denmark making albums. But it's you know, your your 5 piece with a vocalist, two guitarists, and bassist and drummer. This was their last full length called Necrosapiens, and I've listened to this a couple times today. This is probably the best out of these three, although I do really like this. It's just Titia. This is the one that has the first single that I had heard. Um, like I said, kind of in that Opeth vein. It's kind of a weird cover. Kind of in that Opeth vein, but with no clean vocals whatsoever. So, usually I want something a little different with my death metal, either really technical, like drumming and playing, not super fast all the time kind of stuff, but somebody more like Sean Reinhart, Gene Hogland, especially when those two guys were in Death, um, Cynic, stuff like that. Um, so it's actually surprising that I really get into this band, because uh, they don't have anything except for that little hint of Opeth kind of technical sounding. Um, but they're pretty straight ahead death metal. Um, but I just totally dig them. Next band is Ahab. So these guys are more like funeral doom death. They do have clean vocals. This one I'm least familiar with. What is this one called? The Divinity of Oceans. This one is the one that I'm least familiar with because I got this kind of when I wasn't in the mood to get it. I just saw it used and I was like, yeah, I should get that. The Giant, however, is one that I am fairly familiar with. I'm going to bring these up so you can see the album covers a little bit better. My dog is walking upstairs. Um, but yeah, this album starts out very mellow, and with clean vocals that are very reminiscent of Michael Akerfeld. But then it goes into very guttural, funeral doom style vocals. But then it keeps on going back and forth to the clean. This is a concept album. I don't know what thing this is based on. I haven't looked at what it's based on lately. Then we have, in the same style, The Boats of Glencarrig, which, if you have not ever read The Boats of Glencarrig, that is a William Hope Hodgson series of stories, which are great. And I don't know how closely they follow the books. It's been a while since I listened to this, but I do love this album cover. And look at this thing. It's so cool. I believe they do the same clean vocal / death vocals on this. As I said, it's been a while since I listened to this. The one I'm most familiar with is The Giant, and partially why I chose some Ahab today is because I found this one used today also when I was getting the Bayest EP. I've yet to even listen to this, but this one is, I guess, based on Jules Verne, 30,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This one is called The Coral Tombs, so I will be listening to that fairly soon. And here's another band with some clean vocals, but a lot of death metal vocals, and apparently the vocalist that did the clean vocals has now left the band after this. This is called, this is a Denver, Colorado band, Allegaeon, and this album's called Damnum. Just dumb name and dumb title, but apparently their name was something else, and then they had to change it at some point. But they have this guy named Ezra back in the band. He was in the band originally, and then they had a guy named Riley that sang, and he also did clean vocals, and the clean vocals were fantastic. This is the only album by them that I have. I think they did 4 albums total with Riley, and then 1 album with Ezra. That was like the first album. But they've done a single with Ezra back, and the vocals are nothing but death metal vocals. They're good, but it doesn't appeal to me quite as much as when they had some of the clean vocals in there. As you know, I do like variations. That band Sluggage that I got the other day has some fantastic clean vocals, and they go back and forth between the death vocals, and of course he again also sounds very much in that Akerfeld death metal vein. The one thing I like about that style is that you can still tell what the death metal vocals are saying. And with Sluggage, when he sings clean, it almost sounds like Messiah from Candlemass singing clean vocals for a death metal band. 2 more to go. This is a band that is very much in that technical death metal realm, kind of. If you think of like Obscura or Um, oh, what's that band name? Beyond Creation. Um, but this guy does a lot of clean vocals. I don't have their first one or two albums. Um, there's one that I keep on seeing at the Cheapo Records in Blaine that I mean to get, but it's $17.99, and I don't like it quite as much as these two. He does a lot of clean vocals on this, where he does sound very similar to Akerfeld, with even the clean vocals. Um, Apparently, Opeth has had quite an influence on a lot of these styles of bands. But this is super, like, well, very melodic and technical with death metal vocals. Plus, the clean vocals are really well done. And on this album, check out Flashes of Potentialities. This is a French band, Fractal Universe. And on this album, do A Clockwork Expectation. That will give you a very good idea of how the clean vocals are. But it also gives you a good idea of how the death vocals are. So both of these albums are highly recommended. And then a blast from the past, and kind of a question to other death metal fans out there. I really like this Vader album, and I really like the drums. This just brings me back right to like 1995, 1991, the early 90s, where the fast and crazy drumming was exciting, and I like just kind of how raw everything sounds. It doesn't sound triggered or anything crazy like that. And the drummer's name was Doc. He played with them from the beginning until 2005. Apparently, he left the band or got kicked out or whatever, due to drinking too much or something like that. And then I guess he passed away in 2005. So they have another drummer that took on after him. I'm thinking of getting all the stuff with Doc on drums, kind of limiting myself, but I have listened to some of the later stuff, and I've liked what I hear there too. But I love this cover, first of all. Oh my gosh. And there's another one. The album that follows this has that weird skull on the cover, and then there's a few other ones that deal with this eyeball. But De Profundis, this thing is fantastic, and I technically shouldn't like this either because it's more of just straight ahead death metal. But yeah, if you're a fan of Vader, tell me which albums are high on your list. This is the only one I have. So 13 minutes and 50 seconds. That sounds like a good length to stop. Have a good one. Take it easy.